Hey there everyone, A to Z here with a Zerg vs Terran here on Metalopolis. Once again featuring the Red Zerg Liquid HayprO, spawning here at the 8 o'clock. I just did two casts between him and Happy and also him and White Raw. So if you haven't taken a look at those, I highly recommend you do so. Both very fun games to cast and very fun games to watch, I would imagine. I'll give you the quick version of HayprO's information. He is a Swedish pro gamer whose real name is Hayder Hussein, and he is of course a member of Team Liquid. He's ranked first in the Ramsey November division of the European Masters League with a 56.7% win rate. His opponent for this game will be the Blue Terran deadama here at the 6 o'clock. Deadama is ranked 4th in the Sentry Gamma division of the European Masters League with a 51% win rate. So we'll see these players duke it out here from close positions by air on Metalopolis. This Overlord will find out that indeed the Terran is spawning down here, but in return, this Overlord's presence will reveal to deadama that HayprO is spawning over here. Over here rather. So we'll see if deadama decides to go with some Banshee Harass or some Medevac drop play. Both, much more effective because they are so close by air here at Metalopolis. Oh, by the way, I don't know how many of you recognize deadama's name, but I personally do because I did a cast between him and Idra, I believe a month ago. It was a while ago, and I actually don't remember who won that game, but I do remember it was a close game right until the end. So, the part of me that roots for the underdog is cheering for deadama in this game, as of course I believe he definitely is the lesser well-known player, especially when your opponent is, of course, a member of Team Liquid in HayprO over here. So we'll see how deadama does against another very, very impressive Zerg player. First it was Idra, now it is HayprO, as HayprO is taking his natural expansion right around the 220 mark. So it looks like he's going to hatch first once again, and I say once again because in all three of these games so far, he has gone hatch first. So definitely it looks like that's what HayprO wants to do, definitely play for that macro-oriented game. How will deadama respond? Well, he doesn't know quite yet, but this SCV walking over here will reveal to him that indeed a very quick hatchery was put up by HayprO. That is right around a third of the way done at this point. This Overlord just sitting over here on the base, seeing that deadama is doing completely standard things right now, getting that second supply depot, just finishing off that wall off. This Marine is so angry. Will it be able to take out that Overlord? It might be close as the Overlord is so very slow. The spawning pool about halfway done for our Zerg player. That hatchery a little over halfway done at his natural. Is this Overlord going to make it out alive? Looks like a second Marine is going to be joining the party as well. So this Overlord's days are probably going to be very much numbered. And here comes the factory, and this has all the beginnings of a Destiny Cloudfist build coming out of deadama's side, possibly some Banshee Harass as I previously speculated. We'll have to wait and see, however, as he is just now getting that factory online about a fourth of the way done. That Overlord did lose its life, so that's unfortunate. Sad panda for its Overlord friends, but luckily HayprO was prepared and was not supply blocked, at least not for too long. As the factory is right around 2/3 of the way done, he is getting a reactor up here. Unfortunate for deadama that he spawned, here at the 6 o'clock spawn, because the ramp location does mean he has to move the barracks a little bit over to the side to get that add-on built, which means that it is just a little bit more vulnerable to baneling busts. But hey, there's really nothing that you can do. Ramps face different directions because the bases are obviously in different locations. So just unlucky there, small disadvantage for our Terran player having spawned there rather than, say, where HayprO spawned, where the add-on could be built without the barracks being moved at all. So the factory is going to be built, and here comes actually another command center. So he is going to be expanding after having seen that his Zerg opponent, whoa there mouse, freaking out on me right now. So he is responding to an expansion with one of his own, just now getting that started to be built. Actually going for some Hellion Harass, so not teching straight to starport, but instead stopping there at Hellions. Going to be moving over to this reactor and getting those Hellions out. They are very close to finished, as a couple of Zerglings do poke up here and see the factory with the reactor. That will, of course, alert HayprO to the fact that he is about to get Hellioned and about to get some fire all up in his face as those Zerglings do get roasted away. There is a Zergling here, though, kind of camping out and waiting to see if he can get some sneaky ninja scouting in at some later points in the game. How well defended is this Zerg player? Not too well defended, as there are only 2 queens. Looks like this queen going to be shambling on down there. It might just be, squatting on the ramp to prevent the Hellions from being able to get up into the main. However, it looks like these are content to wait at the watchtower for now. These Hellions almost found that Zergling, but unfortunately they just did not go quite far enough. And here come the Hellions, going to be running in there into, where are they going? They're actually going to be going to the outskirts of the Zerg player's creep. Are they going to be up here? No, there are roaches online now, so it looks like the Hellions will not be able to do too much damage at all. As long as the roaches, stay in a defensive posture, these Hellions will not be able to do too much damage. His roaches do outmatch Hellions so very much, as this Marine just kind of patrolling back and forth, trying to catch any Overlords, any drop play that might be happening. Also, any Niduses that might be, you know, sneaky special tactics coming out of HayprO's end, because of course he wants vision of that outskirts of his base. These Hellions so very sad that they were not able to do too much damage, as roaches along with creep teamers just spreading all over the place. And this little smattering of red dots around the natural expansion of our Zerg player. And here come the Hellions. Will they be able to do anything? They actually force a cancel on a creep teamer, but that is really not going to be too cost effective, as you know, a Hellion wants to get drones, or Zerglings doesn't want to get creep tumors. That is kind of the sloppy seconds, the scraps that Hellions don't want to pick up. As here we go, a bunch of SCVs here at the main base rather. Slightly oversaturated right there, but he will be getting this orbital command flew down somewhere in the near future, hopefully, because he needs to take that expansion for his SCVs to be optimally mining. As these Hellions, all very injured in the yellow and orange, probably will be turning tail and going back home because they realize they were not going to be doing too much damage at all, especially with the roaches kind of sitting around, making sure that they caught the Hellions whenever they decided to run in. Still though, 4 Hellions alive, none of them, I believe, actually that one does have 2 Zergling kills from the very start when they just spawned. As here we go, the Marines, or not Marines, the refinery being built right there, and the orbital command going to be flying down and taking the natural expansion for our Terran player, getting siege tech along with siege tanks out of a newly tech labbed factory. So he is going to be transitioning out of this early Hellion play that really was not very effective, unfortunately, for our Terran player. Getting some siege tanks out of there, also going to be getting stim pack about to be finished along with some Marines out of his barracks. These Hellions still just sitting here at the watchtower. Our Zerg player, you know, moving these roaches to the outskirts, trying to catch wind of a Terran move out as soon as possible. And here come the Hellions. Will they be running straight into some roaches? And yes, they will. As that Hellion loses its life, will more Hellions die? Ooh, these 2 Hellions are very, very close to dying. That one at 10 hit points. So very lucky to make it out of there alive. This third base being taken just now started for our Zerg player. Creep spread starting to get out of hand for our Zerg player. If this keeps up, he will be able to have a creep highway basically to the front door of our Terran player, which is not going to be good for our Terran player. Instead, now getting a bunker up here. It is natural just to make sure it's well defended. He does have 2 tanks on the field, along with siege tech researched if he wants to siege those up. These Hellions finally getting back home, having been basically just abused and brutalized by roaches the entire time they were alive. Now being repaired by some SCVs and telling some horror stories of the acid these roaches flung into their faces, and their lone Hellion comrade that did lose its life in the great battle of the roaches and Hellions. As this third base for our Zerg is right around 2/3 of the way done, so that will soon pop and give our Zerg player a continuing 1 base advantage. So HayprO definitely on top of his macro, always staying 1 base ahead as any Zerg player would want to do. Hellions fully repaired now, so they at least won't be close to dying if they do go back into the fray. There are 5 roaches here at the watchtower, and these Hellions, oh my goodness, that one Hellion just having been repaired gets taken out. So that Hellion joining its buddy in the afterlife, you know, still exchanging horror stories about those meanies, the roaches, that they really had no chance against whatsoever. As weapons level 1 being researched by our tank player, here he goes playing some leapfrog with these tanks as he will slowly try to neutralize the creep spread that is somewhat getting out of hand. This creep tumor is still alive, and that is the most important one, as the most forward creep tumor obviously is the one that you want to destroy, because it will continue to spread, continue to make more creep tumors as soon as the Terran army leaves. So he will need to scan and get rid of that in the near future. This Marine's still on patrol duty. He is going to be having some very worn out feet. Does get that scan off and take out that creep tumor, but at the price of attacking his siege tank a little bit right there.